a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The bits.
Three, two, one. Holy shit, we're recording, Charlie.
What's that? Why would we record? Do we record things? Do we have podcasts? What's that? Like,
I love words that end in STS, like ghosts and podcasts. I love that little tss at the end. Welcome to The Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds.
Charlie!
And hey, Charlie.
You have a name. You have a name.
I
Do you
don't
not
want
have a
to.
name?
No, not today.
Not today? Is your name the damn meme page? Oh my god, is that the damn meme page? No way.
The best thing has been when I sent that photo of my cat wearing the hat, and Darian made that meme that was like, corporate wants you to tell the difference between this picture and this picture. It's the same picture.
It is. It is in fact the same picture.
And
Your
Robert
cat wearing the hat.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Robert.
We best stay inside, get some hot cocoa, and chill by the fire because there is a winter forecast upon us.
Yeah, we gotta eat some marshmallows, and some bone marrow.
Now, I say this because we are looking at Season 1, Episode 42, Winter Forecast, which premiered February 19th, 2015. This was a weird fucking episode.
Don't you love watching an episode that is in the winter when it is like so hot outside? So deathly hot.
I'm just going to check the weather as it is currently outside. Currently, it is 79 degrees outside with a 43% humidity. Jesus Christ.
Hate it. Hate it so much.
Oh, and it's going to be raining on 4th of July, which is great because that's my day off and I was supposed to go to a barbecue. Fucking love it. Yay. Anyway,
No, fuck 4th of July, so who cares?
4th of July, I found out also is the anniversary of the Caesar salad. So, hey, that's the only thing.
What?
That's the only thing I'll be celebrating on July 4th. I'll be eating a nice big old Caesar salad.
What you do is you celebrate Captain America's birthday.
Oh yeah, Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers. You celebrate Steve Rogers.
The most American man born on America's birthday.
Yeah. That's
I have my problems with She-Hulk. It wasn't a particularly good produced show. It had its moments, and one of those moments that it had that I really truly love is when they're talking about whether or not Steve is a virgin, and Hulk is like, no, he lost his virginity in 1942 to a performance, and she's like, yes, Captain America fucks.
There you go. Captain America fucks.
But he can't fuck because it's not July. Oh no, it is July. Wait, I'm stupid. Happy July 5th, everyone, which to everyone...
Happy July fucks, everyone.
Which to normal people who don't live in the United States of America is just a Friday. And for people who are fortunate like me, who get 2 days off in a row, it is get drunk as shit on Thursday, wake up Friday feeling like Death Day. Woo!
This doesn't come out on the 5th.
Doesn't this?
It comes out on the 12th.
12th. Happy 12th. July 12th. I was confused. And I literally just finished editing Horror Club.
There you go.
All right, so Charlie, do we have any mail today? I know we don't have any mail people here, but do we have mail in the inbox?
That's true. We don't have any male people in the studio today. No, I do not see any mail in our mailbox.
Neither you nor I are wearing a post office uniform.
No postman. Bringing post. No man. I am no man.
I am nobody. Curse you, nobody. How long did Odysseus spend in the sea? Like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
A while.
Hey, Charlie, can you recite to me all of Greek mythology in chronological order?
Unfortunately, Zeus was horny. There you go.
All right, so we now get to start off with reviewing, talking about season 1, episode 42. The only way to learn is by playing. The only way to win is by learning, and the only way to begin is by beginning. The episode starts with Stephen and Connie just sitting around a fire. They're roasting marshmallows when Dr. Maheshwaran calls Connie and is like, "Hey, have you checked the weather?" But Connie is like, "Actually, no, I haven't, because Stephen is grounded from watching TV."
You were literally there. Like,
He got grounded in fusion cuisine. I forgot about that.
yeah, he got grounded for like forever, or for like 10,000 years, or like something like that.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
10,000 years. I'll give you such a crink in the neck.
That it will. So they're eating their sugar syrup and their bone marrow.
Don't look up. Here's the thing. It's the old adage, don't look up what's like in a hot dog, for example, because hot dogs are just pretty much blended up pig or whatever, or blended up whatever animal it is.
I just had hot dogs.
But here's the thing, hot dogs are delicious. There are many people out there who can't hear that, like, oh, hot dogs are blended up like parts of animals we don't really like to eat. And they're not gonna care. I'm not gonna care. I'm probably gonna have a hot dog for dinner. I want hot dogs now.
Is food.
It's
Leave me
food.
alone.
Is food. Not only is it food, it's nutritious food. Not only is it nutritious food, it's yummy food.
That's all that matters. It's yummy food.
You know, her mom is being like, "Hey, come home, it's gonna snow." Stephen is sad that Connie can't just sleep over to watch snowfall, and he tries to get her to stay, but Garnet confirms with her future vision that it's definitely gonna snow. I like how, you know, Stephen has to point that Stephen has to behind his Jesus Christ, that Stephen has to behind his hand be like, Garnet has future vision.
Just in case you missed that because you weren't here, Connie. So Garnet gives Stephen a tickly, sparkly little kiss on his forehead. And then we begin some things that happen in this episode that apparently didn't even happen because it's all a vision. A future vision.
I love an episode of TV that technically did not happen. I love dream episodes. I love what if episodes. I love the character saw the future and changed the course of the episodes. My favorite gender.
I'm glad that you can figure it out very quickly that that's what's happening.
Yes.
And it's not just like, you know, it's one of those normal episodes that you're talking about where it's like, oh, you're not going to find out till like the last 10 minutes or something that like it's not actually happening.
But no,
But
you
this
found
you
out
can
very
be like,
quickly.
oh, okay. This like transitioned into like a different spot. Okay, this is what ifs.
This episode is trans.
This is true. This episode did transition very well. We love
Very
this
well.
episode for transitioning.
So Stephen and Connie are playing in the snow at the car wash, and Greg's like, "Hey, now it's time to go." Stephen wants to prolong Connie going home, so he's like, "Hey, Dad, your shirt doesn't make you look like a responsible parent." Which, in the words of John Mulaney, no, that's the thing I'm sensitive about, because Greg wants to look like a responsible parent.
Yeah, he really does. And he's just wearing a cherry sweatshirt. Like, what's wrong with the cherry sweatshirt? He's a cherry man. Leave him alone. Greg's like, oh, I can wear this green turtleneck. But that's like the same exact thing he wore the first time he met the Maheshwarans.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I've done this thing before where I'm just like, wait, I can't wear that on the second date. Then they'll think I only have one outfit. No, can't do it.
So eventually he decides on wearing a white and blue striped shirt with high flats and star rings on the back. Definitely a relic from the 80s. We agree on this, right?
Yeah, this is very 80s outfit.
This is something Greg wore on tour or like at a concert.
Even though Greg would have been on tour in like the 90s, I think, he was just living prolonged in the 80s. For some reason.
Sometimes the 80s just gotta stick. I just watched the first 2 Back to the Future movies with my boyfriend recently, and God, the 80s were great. I mean, also terrible. Who the fuck wants to have a Pepsi free? I want a Pepsi Zero. Thank you very much.
I want neither of those things. I want a Coke. Thank you very much.
Coke.
A regular Coke.
Thank God. Because in Back to the Future 2, when they're like, oh, it's 2015, it's the future. We say in 2024. Doc gives Marty a 50 to buy a Coke at a cafe. Marty doesn't get change. A Coke in this alternate 2015 costs $50 fucking dollars.
God, I hate inflation, but I'm so glad that's not what the world we live in yet.
I think you can still buy a 2 liter of Coke depending on where you go for like $3.
Yeah, I think so.
And a lot of supermarkets
Depending.
will have deals, especially around like 4th of July. Oh, 4 for $5, or buy 2 get 1 free.
Yeah, it's not going to be $50 for a single like bottle
First,
or can.
yeah,
Like,
for one of those single leg bottles you would get out of a vending machine, for example. Definitely not. However, those are also expensive. The vending machine might work. It's like $2 for a bottle of Pepsi. Whatever, fine. If I really want a Pepsi or a Coke or whatever, $2. My favorite energy drink is Celsius. It tastes really good, and it's like the quote unquote healthiest energy drink. Those motherfuckers want to charge $4 per Celsius at the vending machine. Fuck right off. You're smoking crack.
no.
But you know who's not smoking crack? Greg. But even
I think he
so,
is. I think
I mean,
he absolutely is. This is not good.
it would explain why he drives in a heavy snowstorm, spins out of control, and then decides that they're going to walk in a snowstorm to Connie's house.
He's like, a responsible parent would not leave you stranded. He would walk you in the freezing cold, get you sick, and make the parents angry because you're home late.
Now, we need to crush the age-old conspiracy that all parents have been telling us since the dawn of time. Being in the cold does not automatically get you sick. Being in the cold weakens your immune system, but to still get sick, you need to be infected by a pathogen.
This is true.
So, hey, if you're just chilling by yourself in a frozen lake for who fucking knows why, and you're away from everyone and no one can infect you, you're just going to be cold. You're going to fuck up your internal body temperature. You might die.
Mm-hmm.
One may argue that's worse than getting a cold, but if you're the Maheshwarans, what's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference? So they bring Connie home. The Maheshwarans are very upset because, yeah, all of these reasons. And then, oh my god, Mr. Maheshwaran's like, well, you can leave out the door because you're right there. That's the door. Goodbye. And Greg's like, I crashed my car? And I guess they're gonna make the couch up for him. Anyway, they did not have to make up the couch for Greg. They did not actually have to be that nice of people. Because he did seem very pissed about this. Oh my god. And then Steven sees something very strange on Greg's back. Like a weird not really spiral, like what would you call that shape?
A Doctor Who intro.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, honest to God, you could put but like classic Who. You could put the classic Who intro over that. Throw up Tom Baker. It's a Doctor Who intro.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense to me. Steven sees this. He's like getting all sweaty. He's like, and then suddenly he's back in the van. They didn't actually walk through the snow. What's happening? He's very confused. Greg's about to suggest that they walk through the snow, and Steven's like, wait, no. Let's just stay here.
let's just stay and freeze to death in the minivan.
It's fine.
They're making like waffle sandwiches and playing music, and then eventually Connie's dad calls on the phone. He's like, hey, where are you? I'm driving in the snow. And Connie's like, Dad, no, you suck shit at driving in the snow. And then lo and behold, Mr. Maheshwaran sucks shit at driving in the snow and crashes into the van.
Yeah, that he does.
And then happens again.
Doctor Who does in fact happen again. It only gets worse from here. We thought the first two of these were awful, but like now Steven's like, he's back at Greg is like going carabiner with his car keys. He grabs the car keys, throws them into the snow. Greg will not find them till spring. Don't worry about it. Connie is going to stay at his house overnight. Connie's mom is not going to like it, but oh well. They call her. Connie is like, oh, Mother, I'm staying at Steven's house, okay? And then Steven grabs the phone. He's like, don't let your husband drive in the snow. He cannot drive in the snow.
He sucks shit at driving, and then he's like, I do not suck shit at driving.
Literally.
And then Steven tosses the phone into the snow, which, I mean, Steven,
He didn't have to do that.
That's a cell phone. In 2014, that's a flip phone in 2014. It's wild to me that 2014, I still had, like, not a flip phone. I had, like, the Sidekick, I think it was called, the Side Flip, whatever the fuck it was called. I had that until I graduated high school, and then I got my first smartphone in, like, 2014, 2015. And it wasn't that my parents didn't trust me or like didn't want to spend the money. They're like, okay, smartphones are starting to become relevant, but also they're expensive. It'll be a graduation present. Fantastic.
Hmm. And then,
And
they
then
get back into the house. And what are the gems fucking doing here?
they're trying to nuke the galaxy warp. That's pretty much what they're trying to do.
I think this is like the shooting star is what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're sending into the galaxy warp. It's going to explode. They have to try to warp it without warping themselves. They're all like holding hands, sitting there, like, okay, this takes a lot of focus. And then Pearl's focus is broken when Steven walks through the door.
And then the shooting star just falls onto the warp pad, I guess blowing everything up and killing everyone. But surprise, happens yet again.
That it does. And hey, look, it didn't happen. None of it.
None
Thank
of it
God.
happened. Steven then goes back to when Garnet kisses him on the forehead and is like, what happened? And Garnet's like, I momentarily gave you future vision. Garnet, how the fuck do you know how to do that?
Okay. So is this okay? She did this through a kiss. So
Yes.
my brain is like wondering if this has any relevance to like Steven's kiss kind of thing.
Here's the thing. I recall there are multiple instances in the show where like Garnet will just give Steven a little smooch on the forehead or whatever. This is the only time it does anything. I think she deliberately has to be like, in this smooch, I will pass to you my powers of future vision for like 2 seconds.
I feel like she might do this one other time in the show, but I'm not sure.
Neither
I
am
think
I.
I feel like it might come back, but I'm just like, this is so weird of a thing to have happen.
It's also wild that Steven essentially went through like, I don't know, a day or two in his brain only to come back and realize, oh, that only took 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's sort of Groundhog Day-esque where he had to relive the same moment over and over again until he like broke the cycle. And the way to break the cycle was to make the right choice. And the right choice is to immediately get Greg, get Connie, get the fuck out of there, go to the Maheshwaran's house. And yeah, it was the correct choice.
Just literally don't procrastinate. Just go as soon as possible.
This is a terrible lesson to have when you have ADHD.
Yeah.
Shout out to the two of us who have the neurospicy. I'm pretty sure we're both putting off something that we need to urgently do.
Always. Whenever.
Love that.
But you know what? They get there. It is snowing terribly. Mr. Maheshwaran likes the cherry sweatshirt, which is very important to Greg. Greg's so happy because he's seen as like safety and he's the good parent. He's responsible and all that. And then they're like, "Hey, it's snowing too bad for you two to go right now and drive back home in this weather. You should just stay the night. They're so cool." But they're all about safety, actually.
Yeah. I love the moment when they're like, we'll pull out the couch for you. And Greg's like, a couch? Woo!
He's like, ooh la la, Chateau Maheshwaran.
And it's like, oh yeah, Greg sleeps in a van.
Yeah, he does.
Big rip. And the episode closes. I completely forgot about this ending until I started to watch it. And then the memories just flooded back. Steven is sleeping on the couch. He wakes up to see that it's snowing outside. Connie, wordlessly, just walks up, sits by the couch, and together they watch the snow fall.
And it's so fucking cute. Like it's just fun. They're adorable, okay?
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Love that for them. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Ribbert.
You know what it's time for?
It's time for some Crystal Temple trivia.
Crystal Temple trivia. Hey, did you know that Mr. Maheshwaran's car resembles a Volvo of the early 200 series?
No, because I know nothing about cars.
Neither do I. Those cars are commonly used by young people, the wiki wants me to point out, illegally and intentionally, to have the car slide on icy patches in the snow and play around in Sweden when it's winter.
I'm so confused. Why?
The Swedish just like their snow, I guess.
What the fuck, Sweden? Speaking of cultural references, so Connie actually knows some Japanese. She said, I think it's itadaki masu.
Yeah.
It's a phrase meaning I humbly receive, and it's usually stated before meals in Japan. It's just like, I think it's is it kind of like a thank you maybe? It just says gratefulness.
Yeah, stuff like that, something like that. So Steven wants to show Connie a video on TubeTube. This is a reference to the. I know we've received critiques of like, hey, don't read out the wiki word for word. I'm gonna read this part out word for word. Steven wants to show Connie a video on TubeTube. This is a reference to the popular video streaming site YouTube.
Yes, we know.
When was this Wikia article fucking written? They're writing about it like YouTube just started or something.
Yeah, YouTube did not in fact just start in the year of our Satan 2015 when
2014.
this came out.
2014?
2014?
2015, my bad. 2015.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by this one actually. So near the beginning of the episode, there's a bottle on the kitchen cabinet that resembles a milk bottle, a Lon milk bottle from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Which, hey, guess what? This is a time episode. His future vision, so like makes sense to me that there's a reference.
That's a Pona song, I think. What's the Song of Time? It's
I know nothing about this game other than time travel is involved.
hold on. So time travel is involved.
Why
because-
is it an ocarina? That's all I want to know.
Fucking question. That's what it is. I'm not listening. I'm not playing this Zelda game in a long time. But so hey, that waffle iron from Laser Light Cannon is seen cooking eggs. They make like weird egg sandwiches. I said waffle sandwiches earlier. Well, yeah, they're technically waffle sandwiches. They're like waffle for bread and the eggs in the middle. Do you like egg sandwich? Do you like eggs?
I do like eggs. I
Would you
love
like
me
to-
a breakfast sandwich.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I would try this honestly because like it's just breakfast food, and I love breakfast food.
It's just waffle and egg.
Waffle and egg. What's wrong with that? Yeah, this is an episode about future vision. And it's transferred to Steven. That's the next bullet point. Thank you.
So hey, Greg's relations with the Maheshwarans are still the same from Future Vision. From Fusion Cuisine, they still kind of don't like him, but now they kind of do.
But you know what? Now they're like, "Oh, you are a responsible adult. Okay, I see you did do this thing. Good for you." Also, hey, look, nice sweatshirt, Greg. We did already talk about Steven getting grounded from watching TV, and it's not 10,000 years, it's 1,000 years. Sorry.
Wow, inaccurate information on our Steven Universe podcast. How dare you?
Sorry.
Steven points out that the sweater that Greg shows is the one he wore in Fusion Cuisine.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought the shooting star was mentioned. Okay, so we had some setbacks in an episode a while ago, Monster Buddies, in getting the shooting star. But the crystal gems did in fact get it, and they are now planning to use it to destroy the galaxy warp and prevent homeworld gems like Peridot from coming. And apparently in how many episodes is that? In like 2 episodes. In Marble Madness, Peridot is literally like they destroyed the galaxy warp, possibly with the shooting star. Like, wow, fuck. I guess this happened. I like did not ever think about this again. I'm not gonna lie. Like in all of my rewatches, I just never thought about the shooting star and this like one scene here. I was just like, oh, that probably just didn't happen. Don't worry about it.
I mean, there's no now that Steven and Greg are at the Maheshwaran's house, there's nothing stopping them. So I guess they really, really concentrated and really, really sent the shooting star to destroy the galaxy warp.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, Charlie, who are you giving your pearl point to?
I'm giving my pearl point to the cherry sweater.
Very good,
You know
very
what?
good.
It was a good sweater. I would be a cherry man. Would you be a cherry man?
I do love popping a cherry. Okay, no. I would give mine to Mr. Maheshwaran because, yeah, it's difficult to drive in snow. We gave him shit earlier, but like, if you, even if you know how to drive well, if you lose control in snow, it's some of the scariest shit ever.
Yeah, I think I would just immediately be like, no, I'm not driving in this shit. But guess what? When I had to drive for Domino's, when I delivered pizza, I had to drive in that shit. And some people gave me shit for it. They were like, "Why are you so late?" Because I was driving really slowly. There's a snowstorm outside, and they did not tip me. Anyway, fuck those people.
Fuck those people indeed.
Oh god, what is our question? Can you drive in the snow?
I can, especially since I moved to a part of the world that has more snow now. So when I moved here in the winter, there was a lot of snow and I had to drive in that. And you get good at it if you keep doing it. The key is to drive slow. It's different. Be more aware. If you slide, don't just hold your brakes. Pump your brakes. That helps a little bit. If you're sliding and
Hmm.
spinning, you're fucked. Just at that point, just pray.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I've driven in the snow enough times before. I hate it. It's terrifying. I would rather just not. So, yeah.
It McBee what it McBee, but do it McDo what it McDo.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Those are some very good wise words from Robert.
Hell yeah. Well, Charlie, if every podcast were perfect.
We wouldn't have the bits.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at The Bits SU Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our Diamond line through thebitsSUpod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, and I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Robert, at the Damn Meme page on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Damn is spelled D-A-M. If you want to hear more from me, check out one of my many podcasts. I have a Once Upon a Time podcast called Entering Storybrooke, a Kim Possible podcast called That's a Sitch, and an Oseman Verse podcast called the Truum Grammar Book Club.
The Bits is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Skywalk Before You Run, a Star Wars podcast where your host, Mary Clay, watches Star Wars for the very first time.
On my first podcast, That's What I'm Tolkien About, I experienced the world of J.R.R. Tolkien for the first time. Now, I'm turning my attention to a galaxy far, far away. My name is Mary Clay, and I am embarking on my first ever journey through the world of Star Wars. Join me each Tuesday as I drive deeper into hyperspace and discover what this vast universe has to offer. My guests will become like Obi-Wan Kenobi as they guide me through this adventure. The sequel trilogy is good information to have because I didn't know what to refer to those movies as.
There's a sequel trilogy, and then there are 2 spin-off movies that have come out in the last 10 years.
Okay, so very similar to Shrek. Shrek had the original trilogy, and then it had some spin-offs with Puss in Boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly like that.
Listen to Skywalk Before You Run every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found.
Deus Ex Media.